Hello, hello. Good morning. Happy Saturday out there to my Stride peeps and then everyone else that has decided to join. Isn't it great that it's a Saturday and we can just wake up and lounge around in our pajamas and do nothing all day? Just kidding. We're doing that every day, right? Every day is a Saturday if we look at this positively. No, I'm glad you guys joined me. I hope you're all doing well. I know we're going to be in this for the long haul now. We got the announcement yesterday that we're going to be quarantined for another 3 weeks. So let's just hang in there and try to stay strong together. Stride asked me to come on and do a nutrition Q&A specifically on pre and post workout nutrition, specifically in this quarantine. So obviously we're in a unique situation. Things are a lot different now. You may have experienced more working out, less working out, maybe just the same. Your workouts are different. So how are we fueling our bodies to adapt to this change? Hey, Jean. So, what we need to think about during this time is really what types of workouts we're doing, how intense they are, and how long they are. It's so great because when I go out on the road and I see so many more runners out there, and I know that Stride 150 challenge is going on. So, maybe you guys are trying to hit some milestones and increasing your endurance workouts a lot more. And yes, those are fueled a little bit differently than, let's say, a HIIT workout. And the sports nutrition and supplement business is, I read recently, like over almost $140 billion, crazy. And it just keeps growing. So we are bombarded all the time with lots of messages and claims about how pre and post workout supplements can help your performance, help you lose weight. So I can see where that can be really confusing. What I wanted to focus on first is pre-workout. So I had a question I wanted to dive into was from Melissa out there, and she's a Stride member, and Stride is doing their 150-mile challenge. And because of that, her, and then I know many of you out there are increasing your mileage, trying to hit that goal, which is amazing. Good for you guys. That's so exciting. So she said, I'm doing the 150-mile challenge, and I'm running 5+ miles per day, increasing my mileage. Should I be increasing my carbohydrates? Well, hi, Katie. Yes and no. So it depends, right? So I don't know, Melissa, how long it takes you to run the 5 miles. If anything, that's over 90 minutes. And let's say on one of those workouts, you're deciding you wanted to do fartleks or sprints. So you're increasing the intensity. What I would think about with that, the carbohydrates, is on the days where you're going to go longer, over 90 minutes, or increasing the intensity, to think about a 4-hour window within that event. So you can increase your carbs, within the 2 hours before and then the 2 hours after. That's when your body's going to be the most efficient at burning the excess glycogen. So that's really what carbohydrates does when it breaks down into our body. Where we run into trouble a lot of times, guys, is if we're doing just a regular workout, let's say that 60-minute circuit training, 60-minute Stride workout, and you're thinking, oh gosh, I need to get some pre-workout in maybe because I'm not going to make it through. So you're having that banana, you're having that bar. When that is broken down into our bodies, the first thing we're going to look to burn off during that workout is that 150 to 300 calorie, whatever it is you ate, especially if it's carbohydrate heavy, and most of those sports supplements are. So you can see where we run into trouble a lot of times where, you're working out and working out hard, and you're having that pre-workout meal or whatever that is that you think you need, but all you've just done is burn that off. And maybe it's 150 calories, and the rest of that, then you're burning off fat. But your body's just going to try to work to burn that off first. So rethink it. If you guys are just doing a 45-minute workout or a 60-minute workout, if you think you can get through fasted, that's the optimal way to burn fat, is a fasted workout. And if you're new to it, then definitely ease yourself into it. Try a handful of berries or something, smaller, and then slowly see if you can get used to it. Or maybe try 30 minutes of a workout without eating something in between. The only time I would caution against doing something like this is if you have issues with low blood sugar, thyroid issues, or blood pressure issues. So that's when you would need to talk to your doctor. But the research keeps showing again and again that fasted workouts, something with that's about 60 minutes, is one of the most effective ways to build muscle and burn fat. One of the things that I do like for pre-workout, sorry, I've got my notes here, is an amino acid, a branched chain amino acid. So what this does is, especially if you're lifting weights, so if you're doing a resistance training type workout, like a stride combo or a circuit training, you might want to think about adding something like this Truth. I like this Truth pre-workout. It's vegan. It doesn't have sugar, and it has a little bit of caffeine, but it's from green tea extract. So you're not going to get a super high jittery feeling from this. Caffeine has been shown to improve performance for workouts. It also provides you with your amino acids, which help, as we know, build muscles. Amino acids are the building blocks of muscles, as well as with muscle recovery. So if you're going to have a workout where, again, you're doing a circuit training with resistance and it's HIIT, it helps to have those amino acids circulating in your bloodstream to help you with recovery and muscle strength. So I always have this before the workout. I know some stride folks out there and some of my clients like to have this during, and that's fine if you can tolerate sipping this through your workout. But I highly recommend this. I'm going to put this in my blog and link it in my bio for Instagram with all the products today, so you guys can grab this. Okay, let's talk about longer workouts then. So if you are training for something like a half marathon, a marathon, triathlon, ultra marathon, how many carbohydrates would you need then? Good question. My philosophy on endurance training, and when I used to do triathlons, I would do this too, is train low, race high. So when you have a week of training, let's say you're training for the marathon, not every day is going to be a 10 to 15 miler. You're going to have days where there's recovery runs, days that are shorter. You don't need to constantly be fueling up on carbohydrates for that whole week. I mean, a lot of, I think, endurance athletes believe this, and of course they do, because that's been all we've been told from big companies like Gatorade and Cliff, that we need to have carbohydrates constantly to fuel our muscles. Yes, they do fuel our muscles, but if you have an excess of it, our muscles can only hold, depending on how big you are, 800 to 2,000 calories worth of glycogen at a time. So if you aren't moving, that's how you actually shuffle that glycogen out of your body and burning it, then you're going to store it as fatty acids. So it's true. If you don't burn it, you store it as fat. So if you are training for something specifically, something long like a marathon, you want to think about timing your carbohydrates within that 3-day window before that big event or that long run. So let's say you've got a 15 miler coming up. Start 3 days before. Okay, so women, it's really not that many more carbs. You're still going to eat normally. Okay, you're not going to eat your big bowls of pasta or big bowls of rice. You're going to have, maybe you're going to add another 50 calories of a carbohydrate to your snack. So if you're having 2 snacks a day, that's half a banana. Maybe it's a date. And then as you get closer to the event, let's say within 2 days to 24 hours before, then you could start thinking about adding more carbohydrates to your meals. Again, that's not a big bowl of pasta. It is just adding another half cup of rice or a half sweet potato, and just increasing that glycogen slowly so that your body can normalize and actually burn that glycogen off that you're not going to use. And then by the time you get to race day or that event, you'll have enough stores in your body to get you through, and you'll burn fat much more efficiently that way. So hopefully that helps. Again, I can put all that information in my blog. I did a blog recently for the Pasadena Half Marathon people, just about how to fuel and training low and racing high. When you do that, you actually reap the benefits of burning fat for fuel, and then when you have your big event or race day, your body goes, oh my goodness, this is so great, I have this big store of carbohydrates, I'm going to use this, and your performance levels goes up. Lots of research behind that, you guys. Okay, what else? Okay, so we talked about activity levels increasing. It's so great that all the trainers are out there putting out content, and you can probably get 3 or 4 workouts in a day, right? So if you are working out more, do you need to increase your carbohydrates? And again, that's what I talked about. If you're going to get 3 workouts in a day, yes, you probably do, right? You probably need to add a little bit more support to your muscles. However, I would caution, if you guys are doing HIIT workouts every day, that is still stressing your body out. So really listen to how you're responding. If you're fatigued and you feel like you can't get through, then maybe take a day off or 2 from that HIIT, go to yoga, do something a little bit more gentle, low impact. But timing it, right, is within that 4-hour window of when you're going to do it. If you're going to do back-to-back workouts, that's 2 hours. You probably need something a little extra. And when I say extra, I mean, 50 calories worth, half a banana, a handful of berries, adding that half a sweet potato to your lunch, that will probably help support your extra activity. What about if your activity has decreased? And that's happening, right? It's happened to me. My job requires me to be moving all day long. I'm bringing people weights and demonstrating moves. So my calorie burn has decreased quite a bit since all of this. So sad. But, and I'm not counting calories. I just, refuse to do that right now. I'm not weighing myself. But how I'm keeping it in check is, you guys might know, I'm doing a smoothie a day. I replace a meal with a smoothie. That way I know exactly how much I'm putting in. It just keeps me going. And I feel like I probably have lost a little bit of muscle mass. I don't have those heavy weights, but I'm putting on my jeans. That's my test. I put my jeans on once a week, and I don't feel like they are super, super tight. So I'm being really lenient on myself right now, but the smoothie a day, decreasing a snack, maybe taking out the carbs. Carbohydrates, I don't want to demonize them, but in general, we tend to eat too much of it. So that is the thing. Again, if your blood sugar is up, that is what's going to increase the minute you have any kind of carbohydrate. I don't care if it's something healthy like oatmeal. Your insulin level will go up, and what happens when your insulin level is increased, you stop burning fat. So if you're working out less, I would say focus more on having the proteins and the fats, and when you're having the carbohydrate, decrease it a little bit, half cup of rice instead of a cup, quarter cup, things like that, so that it's a little bit more, when you combine it, getting mixed up, when you combine it with protein and fat and the carbohydrate, it's not as quickly as absorbed into your bloodstream. So make sure if you're having it, you decrease it a little bit and then bring up that protein and fat to make up for that, so you don't have that crazy spike and crash of that blood sugar. So hopefully that helps. Hey, Amy. Hey, Melissa. Hopefully you got that question answered. Okay, so let's switch to post-workout. A lot of different theories here on how much protein you should be getting. Should you have a protein shake? And I would say, first of all, protein smoothies are an excellent way to replace the amino acids, the glycogen, and all of that stuff that you lost during a hard workout. So the key word being hard. Any kind of workout that taxes your muscles, like HIIT, like if you take a spin class, usually those are HIIT, right? You're sprinting, you're going up hills. A stride combo, perfect example. Anything like that, you should have a protein shake after your meal. If it's just 60 minutes, something pretty simple like almond milk, you're serving a protein powder, maybe 1 serving of fruit, and throw a little bit of fat in there like an almond butter, and you're good to go. That's about 200 to 300 calories depending on how much you use. If you are just doing a recovery day, like even if it's a 5-mile easy jog or a Pilates or yoga, you don't need your protein shake. You can just go right to your next meal or snack. Eat a whole food that contains, yes, protein and carbohydrates. A great example would be Greek yogurt with berries, or if you're going to have your meal or lunch after that, it's sweet potato with a side of lean protein and maybe some greens. So anything lower intensity where you're not really taxing those muscles, you don't need to go and have a 300 calorie protein shake. When it comes to amount of protein that you need, it really depends on the type of athlete you are and what goals you have. So if you are looking to lose weight, one way I look at it is I prescribe my clients 1 gram of protein per pound of their goal weight or their lean body weight. So if your goal is to be 120 pounds, that's 120 grams of protein. It's just an easy way to figure it out. And if you're like, what the hell is 120 grams of protein? If you think about a serving of chicken breast, right? A serving size, you guys, of protein for anybody is the size of your whole hand. It usually is relative to your body size. So that's about 20 grams. Eggs, I think 1 egg has 6 grams. Check the label. You can always figure it out. Most yogurts have about 20 grams. So if you're having protein at every single meal and your snacks, you're usually hitting that protein goal. A lot of people don't. They're usually grabbing an apple and they're not adding that side of whatever, that hard-boiled egg or the slice of turkey to help stabilize that blood sugar, and also making sure you're supporting enough the protein that you need. So think about that. Every time you grab something, grab a side of protein. It'll help you reach those goals. If you're an endurance athlete and you're not lifting weights, you need a little bit less. So somewhere between like 0.8 maybe to 1 gram per pound of your body weight. If you're a bodybuilder, any bodybuilders out there, or you're just lifting heavy, you can go somewhere between 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So again, looking at your body weight and just adding those grams, think about maybe a palm and a half if you're really wanting to increase that muscle mass, if that's your goal. So again, when I say that, you also have to think about how much protein you're having per time. Your body can only process up to 40 grams. So, I see like GNC, right? You look at those big, huge tubs of protein and it's like 40 grams per serving or 50 grams. It's like, no, you can't, your body can't process it. I don't care if you're a bodybuilder or a tiny marathon runner. You just need about 20 to 30 grams, which most supplements have if you take a look at the label. Anything else excess, actually guys, protein turns into sugar in your body. I know it's so alarming when I discovered that. I'm like, what? So too much of a good thing, never a good thing. Just think about, about 20 grams per time. If you're thinking about supplements and protein powders, there's a few that I really like that I always recommend to my clients. If you're vegan, Sun Warrior is an excellent choice. This one per serving has 17 grams, so you're well within that window. It has pea protein, hemp protein, organic cocoa. This one's chocolate, so it has the cocoa. But it doesn't have brown rice protein, which I really don't recommend if you're looking for a vegan protein powder. Some people are allergic to brown rice protein, and sometimes you don't discover that until you have lots of it. And brown rice, you just have to be really careful because it does come from the ground. It absorbs some not so great nutrients from the ground. So I would stick with something that's a little bit more plant-based, not grain-based if you're looking for a vegan protein. Tone it up, I don't have that, but those ladies are killing it. I really like their nutrition profile on that protein. You can get that, and there's so many fun flavors that they have. That at Target, you can get that at Target. So Tone It Up, Sun Warrior, great choices for vegan. If you're going with whey, I really like this company, Terra's Whey. Clean protein, grass-fed, organic, really, great flavors. Chocolate, I think they've got coconut, they've got vanilla, they've got plain. The thing with whey, and if you are not lactose intolerant, is that it's the most quickly assimilated protein into your system. So if you are looking to build muscle and really get all of those amino acids into your body as quickly as possible, whey is the gold standard. Finally, collagen. I like this brand, Multi-Collagen by Ancient Nutrition, and there is a brand called Primal Kitchen. I don't have it, but collagen is great, you guys, but I would caution, I know there's a big movement and it's trendy right now, but it's not a complete protein. So I say treat this as a supplement. Use it as a snack, put it in coffee, put it with your Greek yogurt. That's one of my favorite ways to eat it. But also make sure you're supplementing with the whole proteins like your Sun Warrior or your Terra's Whey in addition to that day. Or if you're gonna put this in a smoothie post-workout, make sure you add a scoop of another type of protein. That will make it complete. So great supplement for your hair, your joints, your skin, all of that. So that is my take on the protein. Anybody have questions out there? Say how much, oh, Amy, how much working out is too much right now? Yes, Amy, of course you're asking this. If you guys don't know her, she is an amazing triathlete mom and one of my clients. Yes, there is such thing as working out too excessively. I think you really have to listen to your body. The style of workout I'm seeing a lot out there that the trainers are putting out are HIIT style. So, and it's great because we're all looking for that maximum calorie burn, but I would say no more than 3 times a week with your HIIT, guys. That's a lot of pounding on your joints. It's getting your heart rate way up there. You're in the anaerobic zone. And even though there are studies that show that helps you burn fat and become fitter, it's putting stress on your body. So if you're finding that you're not recovering well and you're getting to that next workout, you're like, gosh, I can't finish this 30 seconds of whatever. It's time to think about, let me, mix it up a little bit. Let's do something low impact. You can do the HIIT, maybe tune in and just do a lower impact version. And then, give yourself 1 to 2 days off between those types of workouts. Sometimes I'll do a strength training workout in the morning, and then later on I'll get on my Peloton and do, more of an easier run or easier ride, or I'll go out for a run later. To me, that's been a really great combo that's worked, and I'll get the HIIT worked in for the other 3 days. Let's see, anybody else? Oh, I did have a question on Facebook earlier this week, and that was from Dana, and she asked me, about chocolate, and this is not really exercise related, but she had said, look, I love chocolate. I do not want to give it up. I'm not going to give it up. And how can I work this into my life? Yes, Dana, I love chocolate too. So here's the thing with chocolate or any kind of dessert, right? If you know you can have it in your house and you're cool with it, you can go grab your square of dark chocolate or whatever it is, your serving of Halo Top every night and be fine and not devour the entire thing, then it's cool. Have it every single day, right? I do have a piece of dark chocolate every single day. I think I talk about it a lot, Lily's chocolate. I'm gonna get it and show it to you guys. Yeah, see, I dug into it last night. What you want to do is think about the types, especially if you're having it late at night, the types of foods that are not going to elevate your blood sugar. At night, our insulin level is a little bit desensitized because of our circadian rhythm. We don't burn off the sugar as easily as we would as in the middle of the day. So Lily's I like because it's stevia sweetened and it has erythritol in it. Those types of sugars don't spike your blood sugar, and erythritol actually gets peed out of your body. You have it, it gives you this sweetness, but you don't absorb it. When I look at things like Lily's, or there's also an ice cream, let me get that. It's called Rebel. I look at the back, it's not 100% A+ healthy, guys, right? I'm just talking about dessert, and we know dessert isn't healthy, but I try to look at the carbohydrates, and then I look at the fiber content. And then what I do is I look for things that are high fiber, because the fiber is going to get excreted out of your body. The carbohydrate content in this candy bar, the chocolate bar, is 22 grams. The fiber is 14 grams. So what you do is you subtract that, and then that's how many carbohydrates or sugars your body is actually having to process, which is low. So that's a trick you can do if you look at something. Rebel ice cream, this is keto. It says high fat, low sugar, which is something that you want in a dessert if you're gonna, you wanna have a cheat. And this one, I'm looking at it here, 13 grams of carbohydrates. And with the fiber and the erythritol, because it gets excreted, it's 11 grams that doesn't get absorbed in your body. So you're looking at a net carb of 2 grams. Okay, I know this is all complicated stuff, but Dana, I hope that answers your question. Yes, if you wanted to grab something sweet and not, really go for the full chocolate that has all the calories and sugar, Lily's is a great option. Rebel ice cream is a great option. Okay, Sildy. What are ways to get an extra protein? I'm struggling to get enough protein during the day. So Melissa, I just talked about this, but what you need to do is think about having protein at every meal. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, I think that's usually pretty easy. There's eggs, there's chicken breast, there's turkey, tuna, and then every snack. So I know you are running a lot right now, and you're working out a lot. You probably need about a gram or a little bit over a gram per pound of your body weight. Instead of counting calories, just really think about getting that serving of protein every time you sit down to eat something. So if it's 5 meals a day, if you're grabbing, a Greek yogurt, that's awesome. That's about 20 grams of protein. If you, grab a piece of fruit, grab that piece of jerky or that no nitrate turkey along with it, or that hard-boiled egg, just so you're making sure that you're hitting all those protein goals and, continue to build that lean muscle. We all need it. So, okay. Hello, Dave. I wanted to go and make our smoothie. So if you guys want to stick around for that, this is one of my favorite post-workout recovery smoothies. I made it just for the Pasadena Half Marathon people that needed an extra treat after their run, and it's called the Chocolate Cherry Shake. So yummy. Cherries, you guys, if you don't know, there's been studies done on marathon runners that cherries help with boost recovery time and performance. And they also did a study with weightlifters, and it showed that cherries have the anti-inflammatory properties that help with muscle soreness, including the DOMS, which I don't know if you guys know this, delayed onset muscle soreness. So does this happen? You guys, you work out, and then the next day you're like, oh, I feel kind of good. And then the day after you're like, holy crap, I can't walk. That's DOMS. So it happens to me, and it's crazy how, that our bodies do that. But I'm gonna make it. So let's, give me a second. I'm gonna grab some stuff out of the freezer. And I'll bring over my blender. Okay, so this smoothie actually calls for coconut water, but I don't have any, so I'm gonna use the almond milk that I have. If you guys haven't found this at Trader Joe's, this is like one of the cleanest almond milks I have seen. It's a little more expensive, so I wouldn't say buy it all the time, and it has more calories than regular almond milk, but it has water and almonds. no carrageenan, no guar gums. It's super healthy. But I think because it has the whole almond in it, it just has a little bit more calories and fat. But I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in here because that's what I have. 1 cup. And the recipe is actually going to call for coconut water, because coconut water, as you know, has electrolytes and potassium. So if you're going to have this after your long run, it's good to have that increased level there. And then, of course, let's throw in our 1/2 cup of cherries and then our 1/2 banana. It's frozen. That's the best way, I think, to add fruit to our smoothies. It gives it that nice froth, and you don't have to add as much ice. And then I add 1/4 avocado. Avocados, guys, great source of monounsaturated fat, and it helps absorb that sugar. So you're not going to get that feeling of that spike. So I like always trying to add a fat anytime I add a sugar. The other thing I like to add to any kind of recovery smoothie are chia seeds. Chia seeds are high in omega-3s, which have anti-inflammatory properties, help repair our cells, but they also are hydrophilic. So what they do is they absorb 300 times their weight in water. So obviously after a long run or a really long workout, I'm talking about 90 minutes plus, you want to make sure you are adding that hydration back into your body as quickly as possible. So where is my tablespoon? Here we go. 2 tablespoons right in here. And with chia, there's such a pain in the butt to clean out of your sponge. Oh my gosh, I wish there was a better way. So I like to try to add it to the liquid as close to right in there, so they can kind of soak up and blend in as well as possible. Then I will add some sea salt to this. So as you know, you lose salt when you sweat. So I'm gonna put about a pinch and throw that in there. And then my protein. So I'm going with Tara's Whey today. I talked about whey protein being the best to support for your muscles. So 2 scoops of Tara's Whey right on top. And I didn't add greens, although I recommend adding greens to whenever you can. I'm just going to not add it for the ground so this can look like a nice pink color. I'm gonna put it the top on. I'm gonna go blend it. I'll be right back and I'll come back to answer any more questions. Okay, so now that that's blending, we'll see if there's any more questions here. No, and I think I had a couple more on Facebook. Let me get to that. Now my computer doesn't want to work. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys. Anyone else have any questions? It's so good to see you. Hey, Jean. Okay, I had a question about breaking the fast. Hold on one second, I'll be right back. Okay, so people are intermittent fasting out there, and I did a whole vlog on this. This is when you are timing your, booze, that's also a great question. This is when you're timing your meals and you're waiting anywhere from 10 to 12 hours between your dinner, if you stop eating dinner at 7 p.m. and then you're eating again at 7 a.m. So much good research out there, guys, about intermittent fasting and not only weight loss, but also a miraculous occurrence in our bodies called autophagy, where old cells die and we replace them with vibrant new cells, meaning brain cells, skin cells, all these things that are optimal for our health. So when you fast, it allows your body to break down the foods that you've eaten and distribute that evenly through your body. A lot of times what we're doing is we're having dinner, whatever time, let's say 8 o'clock, and then right away we wake up, 6:37, we're having that first meal. When you don't allow your body the adequate time to digest, it just starts that process over and over again, and it doesn't allow your other cells to do their jobs in your body. Digestion takes about 80% of your energy in your body. So breaking the fast, what happens is, that means if you are trying to fast and you're trying to get that 12 hours and you're starving, what can you have? The general rule, if you're talking about weight loss and fat burning, because when you're fasting, your insulin levels are low, and whenever they're low, you're burning fat for fuel, which is awesome. If you have too much sugar during that time, like if you decide you want to wake up and like, I'm gonna have my coffee, I'm gonna put a little bit of creamer in there, I'm gonna add a little bit of collagen, that breaks the fast. Protein, as I mentioned earlier, turns into sugar in your body, and that'll break the fast. If you truly don't want to break it and you want to continue to rely on that fat burning for as long as possible, I would say, tea, you could do a half tablespoon of almond butter, 6 almonds. I know it's not a lot, but if you really need to get by and you don't think you can, then, add a little bit of fat before you add any protein and sugar. So hopefully that helps to answer that question, Becky. Let's see, booze. Yes, I want to do a whole happy hour live on this with you guys. Come and bring your wine and we can talk about it. When we talk about alcohol in general, wine, tequila, vodka, has no sugar. It's when you, in the distillation process and the fermenting process, that sugar actually is fermented off. The times we get in trouble with alcohol, obviously we could get in trouble with alcohol, is when you add the other mixers, right? So a margarita, super high in sugar. What else? Orange juice for mimosas, greyhounds, all those things, those mixers is where we get into trouble. But the other part about booze, and that you have to be mindful of, is that anytime we drink alcohol has the highest calorie content aside from fat. So carbohydrates is 4 grams, and booze is 7. Okay, so what you want to avoid is when you're drinking it, all your other metabolic processes stop. Alcohol gets absorbed into the bloodstream very quickly, guys, hence the buzz, right? So when you drink it, burning fat, everything else is going to stop so that your body can process and get that alcohol out of your system. It doesn't like it. It's a poison, right? It's awesome. Like I told you, Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, my best friends right now, but you do have to think about it in moderation. It disrupts your sleep. It disrupts your hormones. I don't want to, again, be a stickler, because I'm not, like I said, I'm having a glass of wine every night, but just think about sticking to drier wines if you're gonna have it, champagne, Pinot Grigios, Sauvignon Blancs, Pinot Noirs. If you're going for the hard stuff, think about the white stuff. So like vodka, tequila, watch the mixers. You can do a vodka soda. If you wanna do a splash of something, that's great, but just in general, just think about all the metabolic processes that happen that have to stop in order for your body to process the alcohol. Okay, Dana, if I'm new to making smoothies, what ingredients should I always have on hand? So smoothies can be super simple or super complicated, but I think for the basics, you need some sort of nut milk. Almond milk to me is I think the least offensive if you're just starting out with that. Unsweetened almond milk. The other one is a high quality protein powder, which I went over earlier, and if you missed it, I will put it in my blog. Either a whey protein if you have no issues with dairy, or a vegan protein if you would like an alternative, or hey, have both. And then you want to always put some sort of greens in there, some sort of fiber, baby spinach. Again, if you're new to it and you don't want something that has a super strong taste, baby spinach is a great way to start. And then some sort of fat. So it could be your almond butter, which is, a really shelf-stable product, or coconut butter to add. So I think those main things, if you stuck with that, you would have a very nutritious meal or snack, post-workout, whatever, but all those things would work great in a smoothie. And then if you want to experiment more, you can add things like flax or hemp or chia, and then, depending on your workout. So if it is something that required a lot of time or endurance, you can add more fruits like bananas or dates. But my rule of thumb always with a smoothie is you can easily turn it into a 600 calorie bomb and too high in sugar. So think about always sticking to no more than a serving or a cup of fruit in that smoothie. So, okay, let me pour this smoothie out for you guys. We're gonna try it and see how it came out. Thank you for tuning in. Cheers. If you guys have any more questions, I am here. You can DM me, Michele Canon Fit. This was so much fun to do for Stride. I hope to see you guys again. Be safe. Obviously, we're staying home. Make sure you're connecting with all your loved ones. Okay, which blender? I got another question from Michele. This is amazing, you guys. So good. I have 2 blenders, but they're all by Vitamix. The blender that I use that I love is this. It's a Pro blender. It's the kind like you see at Jamba Juice. or you pull down the cover and it's really quiet. And it has, you can speed it, like you can adjust the speed from like 5% all the way to 100%. So I love this blender. But Vitamix has so many different versions and price points. And you know what, Vitamix hands down is a blender that you can have and you buy. It's an investment that you will have for 10 years. I've never had a problem with any of my blenders, and you know, if you did, they are fantastic. Their customer service will be there to help you, but you want to find something that will emulsify and blend everything you're putting in there, especially if you're putting greens, right? You don't want to have a smoothie and get a big chunk of spinach stuck in your teeth. Nothing worse to ruin a smoothie than having a chunk of veggies stuck in your teeth. So Vitamix is my blender of choice. All right, happy Saturday, you guys. Thanks for joining me. It's always a pleasure to see you. Stride people, get out there, get that 150 challenge in, and let's fuel our bodies with optimal ingredients. And I hope to see you guys out there healthy and stronger than ever. Bye.